What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Since I'm currently waiting on parts for my blowed up engine, as you can see here, I thought I would do a quick little 5 shop tips or hacks in 5 minutes. So let's get into it. Tip number 1. We all know how frustrating it can be sometimes to get a bolt started. Sometimes you're working, in an area that you can't really see, it's hard to reach, whatever the case may be. So sometimes you try to put the bolt in the socket, try to reach back, and it just keeps falling out of your socket. So get yourself a neodymium magnet and glue it to the tip of a short extension. I've done this to, obviously, this 3/8. I've done it to a short 1/4 and to a 1/2 inch. Now you can take your socket, put it on that extension, put the bolt in there, and now your bolt stays in the socket. Tip number 2, same problem. You got a bolt that you need to get it to stay in a socket, but it just keeps falling out. Get yourself a shop rag. Tear yourself off a piece of shop rag. Of course, I got the shop rags here that are kind of a pain to tear. Take that shop rag, put it over the socket, take your bolt, now you put it in there, and now your bolt will stay in the socket. Tip number 3, screwdrivers. Did you know there's a reason that maybe the handle is shaped the way it is, or they have certain features? For example, my Milwaukee screwdrivers have this section at the top of the shaft right there, and that's made for a 1/2 inch wrench. So let's say you've got a really tight screw and you just can't get enough torque on it to break it loose. Maybe it's rusted in place, maybe somebody used all the Loctite on it. Whatever the case may be, you take your 1/2 inch wrench, put it on that section of the shaft there, press down on the screwdriver, and now you've got that lever to give you that extra torque to break that screw free. For these Craftsman screwdrivers, it's all in the handle. The shape of the handle is meant so that, again, put your screw in place, you can get a pair of maybe adjustable wrenches. Get yourself an adjustable wrench, put it over the handle, you tighten it down, and now again, same thing. That wrench acts as a lever, gives you that extra torque needed to break that screw free. Or maybe you want to use channel locks. Same thing. Put the channel locks on there, and now again, that gives you that extra lever for that extra torque to break that screw free. Tip number 4. Let's say you're working on maybe a really dirty old engine and you got some thread holes that you need to clean out. Maybe they're just rusted or they're full of dirt, grime, grease, whatever the case may be. And you don't have a set of thread chasers like the ones I did a video on up here. Get yourself a bolt that fits in that hole. And you take your angle grinder and you cut some little grooves in that bolt. Now you thread this bolt in the hole, thread it in, thread it out, and that bolt will help clean that hole out, and those grooves will give a way for that dirt and grime to kind of come out of the threads. It'll help cut those. It doesn't cut the threads, it just kind of scrapes along inside there and allows you to clean that bolt hole out without damaging the threads. You could use a tap, but taps could be too aggressive and could damage the threads. Just take a bolt, cut you some grooves with a die grinder or an angle grinder into the threads, and chase your threads out with that. It won't damage your threads. Tip number 5. I actually did a shorts video on this tip a while back, and people, man, it got a lot of hate messages. People either love this idea or they hate it. I had a great time with all the comments on that video. Let's say you've got a bolt and this thing is stuck and you don't have a breaker bar. All you have is maybe your 3/8, maybe you're working in the junkyard and you forgot your breaker bar, or whatever the case may be. You just don't have a breaker bar available. All you have is your 3/8 socket, 3/8 ratchet, and you just can't get enough. Actually loose, so demonstration purposes only, this is actually loose, but you can't get enough torque on there to maybe break this thing free. You're just fighting it. You just don't have enough leverage because the handle is so short. Get yourself a socket that fits over your handle and then a long extension. Now you basically got yourself a breaker bar. People are going to bitch, you're going to break your ratchet, the teeth in the ratchet, you're going to bend your breaker bar. Guys, this is, in a pinch, will get you through. Now, you've got that extra leverage to help you break that bolt free. Been doing this for years. I have yet to damage a ratchet. I've yet to damage an extension. In a pinch, this works great. There you go, guys. 5 quick shop tips. Appreciate you for watching. Hit that subscribe, hit the bell, and I'll see you on the next one.